Just some grunting and groaning for those of you who watching the replay. Just a little treat from me to you. Hey, Vanna. Sorry, I was talking to the people who watched the replay. Hey, Elf. You ever wonder? I mean, usually it takes a few moments for people to come in. You were really quick today, Vanna, and Elf too. Two of you were like really quick today. Usually it takes 20, 30 seconds before anybody starts commenting or anything. So figures the one time that I decide, you know what, I'll just make some jokes. I'll make some jokes before people come in. Figures the one time I decide to do that, somebody's here right from the start. Let your posse know to wake up too. It's good. You gotta roll with the posse. Hey, Hazel. The Deadpool trailer. It looks fun. It's Marvel, so I still won't be watching it, but it looks fun. I'm sure it will be an enjoyable film. Hey, Scriptgoat. Yeah, the first two Deadpool movies were funny, so, and enjoyable movies. Happy Heart Day, yep. Yep, I will be coming on tonight for Valentine's Day. I'll be going live for Valentine's Day. So you can all look forward to that. Hey, Val. The one issue I did have with Deadpool 2 was that they... Hey, Pico. Hey, little Greg. Who's my favorite? Who's my Valentine? I mean, I guess anyone who comes to my live later tonight. Boyfriend is in the army? Aw. Two chicks are lesbians, right? Yeah, there's Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Yukio. I think it's Yukio. And, a little bit of casual representation. But yeah, the big issue I had with Deadpool 2 was the way they killed off Vanessa at the start. There is, hey, Waffles, my Valentine. You're only my Valentine if you come later tonight. Yeah, so there's a term in comics, fridging. Women in refrigerators, or fridging. It's a term used specifically, like it's a term that originated from comics. The specific origin of the phrase, it was inspired by a scene in a Green Lantern comic. Green Lantern gets home. 6:40 p.m. What time is it there? It's 2:37 here a.m. So Green Lantern gets home, looks at his fridge, and finds that his girlfriend has been killed and chopped up and shoved into the fridge. It was a shitty, it was a shitty moment, and it bugged a lot of people because it was part of sort of like a historical trend where a female character is made to suffer or even just killed outright in order to cause the male protagonist, the male hero, pain. So Green Lantern's girlfriend being killed and shoved into a fridge was sort of emblematic of that downright shitty trend. And thus, I believe it was Gail Simone who coined the term women in refrigerators. Is that sexist? It is. So yeah, I think it was Gail Simone who was not yet a comic writer at that time. She had not yet become a comic writer herself. She was a comic journalist at that point. I believe she was the one who coined the term women in refrigerators, inspired by that specific scene, and used to refer to just that shitty trend, that shitty trope of female characters suffering or dying specifically to cause the man pain. It's nobody cares about the woman except to the extent that the male protagonist will feel sad about her death. So, Deadpool 2. Vanessa was killed off in order to make Deadpool feel sad. It was, a pretty textbook case of fridging. So that was shitty. That's like the biggest problem I have with Deadpool 2. On the plus side, it does seem like Deadpool 3 will not be doing that. They're just going to have Deadpool. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but just getting grabbed by some people. No, that is getting grabbed by some people and shoved into the MCU. Which means Vanessa might just not matter at all. Looks really good. Yeah, like I said, I'm sure it'll be fun. I'm sure it'll be a good, fun movie. Hey, Violet. And does look like that one guy isn't showing up at all. I'm forgetting his name. He plays Weasel. He's got the glasses. The dude with the glasses. Who played Deadpool's best friend. TJ Miller? Was it TJ Miller? No, TJ Miller was like a character played by William Shatner, wasn't he? Whatever. The dude who apparently just randomly called in a fucking bomb threat. Didn't see Domino also? That's a shame because she was so good. She was like, she was a lot of fun. But, you know, Alaska Pox? I have not heard about Alaska Pox. Thanks, Violet. It's the Muppet Show Band. Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, the Muppet Show Band. It's affecting Fairfax. That's unfortunate. I saw that there was a shooting at a church in Houston. Do you mean the one a few days ago? Because it's like it doesn't it seems to be up in the air whether that person even was trans. Hey, Sable. The person does seem to have been, assigned female at birth at least, and does still seem to go by her birth name. Did they say trans? That was what conservative outlets initially said. Conservative outlets, right off the bat, were saying trans. Um, but It seems like maybe it was like just. It seems like it might have been just a cis woman who just happened to have a male alias that she used sometimes. At the very least, she was not a trans woman. Like she was not a trans woman. If she was trans, then like I don't know, maybe trans masculine, maybe non-binary. I don't know, but the indications I've seen were assigned female at birth. Blah blah blah. Yep. The just taking a quick look, and Associated Press is saying that there's like that, according to the Associated Press, uh, there doesn't seem to be any indication that the shooter actually identified as trans. Let's wait for the man. Yeah, it's one of those things where like a woman but uses but among multiple aliases, one of the aliases that she used happened to be Jeffrey Escalante. Regardless, the the relevant part is that the person was generally shitty. This woman seems to have just been generally kind of shitty. So, on another topic, I must admit to a little bit of disappointment at the reviews for Madam Web. I didn't expect the movie to be good. There was a part of me that was kind of hoping it would at least be bad in an interesting way. But from what I'm seeing, it just sucks. It's not even like, it's bad, but not even in a way that's interesting to see, just in a way that's frustrating. They didn't get their powers. I saw a screenshot of one review. Just saw like a screenshot of a paragraph of one review. Compared it to Cats, the movie, which, like, bad movie. Absolutely a bad movie. But in an interesting way. It is a mesmerizing disaster. Whereas Madame Web just seems to be like, how long is left on this shit? Just boring. Like, Madame Web seems to be just boring. Um, say what you will about Cats the musical, about Cats the movie. Can't really call it boring. You could call it horrifying, but not really boring. The review also called it, the review, like that paragraph that I saw, it ended by calling it the showgirls of comic book cinema. That is the phrase that one person used. The showgirls of comic book cinema. Who's to blame for the movie being that bad? I mean, the producers and the director. Hey, Bambi. Yeah, the showgirls of comic book cinema sort of annoyed me because, like, there is sincere retrospective analysis of that movie that, you know, that highlights it as really sharp and clever satire that critics at the time just completely missed. Like, Showgirls has a very passionate base of defenders. While, again, Madame Web just seems to be doesn't seem to be a movie that's going to have that. The only praise it's getting is ironic, sarcastic. That girl got canceled? Yeah. I feel like if a studio is going to, if a studio films a movie, if the movie is complete, it's ready for release, and the studio says, no, we're just going to take a tax write-off, that movie should then immediately go public domain. I don't like I just don't like the idea of a movie being finished and then the studio just saying, "Yeah, we're not going to release it." There was a time, you know, back in the day, if a movie sucked, they would go direct to video or direct to DVD. We had a culture back then, you know? Though it does seem to be mostly Warner Brothers. It does seem to be mostly Warner, who's like, no, we don't want to release movies. Warner Brothers, the only movie studio that just hates or does not want to release movies. Like, your fucking movie studio, release your fucking movies. Like, release them to streaming at least, you know? It's entirely possible that Batgirl was as bad as Zaslav claims it was. You know, it's entirely possible that Batgirl is genuinely that bad a movie. You probably still make more money releasing it than you get from the tax break. As for Wile E. Coyote versus Acme, that is baffling. It is genuinely baffling that Warner is not releasing. Tell it tomorrow. Well, like I think Marvel Studios did lose some money on the Marvels, but less than they would have lost writing the movie off as a tax break. You know, if they'd written it off as a tax break, they might have gotten, you know, $40 million. As it is, the movie made, you know, a few hundred million. Not as much as it cost to make, but more than the tax break would have been. Hey, Del Bell. Yeah. Coyote versus Wiley Coyote versus Acme. It is genuinely mind boggling that they're not releasing that one. Because, like screenings, like advanced screenings, got great reviews. And like Netflix was going to buy it for like $70 million. You know, Netflix was willing to pay $70 million for, or no, it was like 60 million, 50 million. Shit, I forget how much the budget. I think the movie cost like 70. I think the movie cost like $75 million to make. Netflix, I think, was going to pay like maybe 50 million. It might have been 50 million that Netflix was offering to buy the movie for. You know, which is about what they'll make from the tax write, which is about what Warner's going to make from the tax write-off. And Warner's like, no, we want $75 million. I honestly wonder if David Zaslav just fucking hates movies. Like if he just has a genuine hatred of movies. Because not releasing Coyote versus Acme, the movie, it would make money. There is no way it would not make money. It got great reviews. The Looney Tunes characters are hugely popular still. It's not going to be a bomb, you know? But for some fucking reason, Zaslav just fucking hates movies. It already sounds. Well, like the tax write-off, they'll get like $40 or $50 million on the tax write-off. Give me restaurant ideas for the wife. There you go. Uh, all you can eat seafood buffet. Seafood and eat it. Honestly, I was thinking of that Simpsons episode. Thanks, Yol. Like a tax write-off. I guess not. I don't like. I don't know how it works. I just have absolutely no idea how that shit works. But apparently, by shelving the movie, they can make like by shelving the movie, refusing to release it. For some reason, they can. Yeah, I don't fucking get it. Corporate tax laws are weird, is what that comes down to. Yeah, like I doubt that I would have watched Coyote versus Acme. Like I probably wouldn't have ended up watching it myself, but it sucks a lot for the people who made that movie. Yeah, like it really sucks for them because they put a lot of work into it and it's just going to waste. And it's just a really weird decision that I just do not understand the logic of. I just don't get it. Hey, Lisa. Oh, and hi, Maricel. I forgot to say hello to you, Maricela. Saw R.I.P. Steve Wright trending on Twitter. I was like, oh man, Steve Wright. I was thinking of the comedian Stephen Wright, but apparently the guy who died is some British dude. Hey, Amy. Some British radio dude. So, like, some of the TV shows I watched as a kid. I mean, there were a bunch. Here's a joke I just saw on Twitter. What do you call a chicken staring at lettuce? Chicken sees a salad. Anyway, yeah, so shows I watched as a kid, I don't know. Full House I watched as a kid. Family Matters. Um, My Pet Monster when I was really young. Um, Captain Planet. X-Men the animated series. Batman the animated series. Superman the animated series. Spider-Man the animated series. Power Rangers. So I think I only watched the first season of Power Rangers. Um, I don't know. Eek the Cat. I liked Eek the Cat. I liked Boy Meets World. I definitely crushed on Topanga. Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers. Tailspin. I watched Tailspin as a kid. Oh, yeah, Tailspin. Oh, yeah, Tailspin. Bunch of stuff. Bunch of other shows, I'm sure. You know, I should really download the X-Men animated series theme song. I should really download that for my playlist, my computer playlist. It's an absolute banger of a song. Hey, Pika. Thoughts on the Cure? Defend kids in school therapy. I mean, my school didn't have bullies. Like, I never saw any bullying going on. I would have been a prime target for bullying, and I didn't get bullied. It was a weird fucking school. Weird fucking class, at least. Anyway, The Cure. I mean, there are a few Cure songs I like, but on the whole, they're not really a band that I'm really a big fan of. At least most of the time. That's why they say Canadians are nice. Yeah, like it's just everyone in my class was nice. We're bullied for being overweight. Yeah. Trying to think. I don't think we really had any. We didn't really have any fat kids, but there were definitely especially girls. There were a couple. There were like three girls in my class who were definitely on the bigger side. The one of them wasn't really overweight. Was just like big. It's just sort of a built like a linebacker type. Very sweet girl, of course. But I think she might have been the tallest kid. I think she might have been the tallest kid in my class. Like I think the tallest person in my class was that girl. And like she was thick. Like a linebacker. Yeah. I didn't mean it in a mean way. It's just she looked capable. She looked physically, she looked capable of throwing someone around. You talked to her and you knew she wouldn't. You knew like she didn't give that vibe at all. Like she did not give off that kind of vibe at all. But physically, she looked capable of absolutely dominating people, just whipping them around. But in terms of personality, she was just an absolutely like just had an absolutely normal personality. Do you think pretty people have privilege? I would say that to a certain extent, yes. I would say that being attractive absolutely has its benefits. There are way more benefits to being attractive than there are to being ugly. Ugly people get treated badly. I mean, sometimes, that varies. Some, like to the best of my knowledge, I can't recall that have ever been treated poorly because of how I look. So it's not universal. And of course, there are some ugly people who are, really fun and charming, charismatic people. So being ugly doesn't really, they're able to be exceptionally well liked because of that. So it's not necessarily that ugly people get treated badly. It's that people like attractive people. It's just it's a subconscious thing. Like it's just most people prefer talking to people that they find attractive. Ugly is new hot. That movie with Ben Stiller. Zoolander. I've never watched that movie, and it's doubtful that I ever will. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, there are there are benefits to being attractive. Doesn't necessarily mean that your life is going to be any easier. Just that there can be benefits to it. While it is much, much rarer, much less common for there to be benefits to being ugly. The idea that people are pleased with seeing you. Yeah. In the most shallow, literal way. Just makes me think that old. Just made me think that old line. Hate to see her leave. Love to watch her go. Would I smash with an ugly person? I don't know. And that, of course, there are drawbacks to being attractive as well, such as being objectified. Ugly personality, appearance of personality. I mean, I'm mostly talking about appearance. Who is my ideal woman? Your mom. What makes someone ugly? I don't know. Think you can afford to be uglier personality-wise if you're pretty? Well, honestly, you kind of can, yeah. You kind of can get away with a lot more if you look good enough. I mean, that's sort of a whole thing, yeah. She could step on me and I would thank her. When people try moralizing ugly people like they owe it to you to be nice because they're ugly. Do I give out compliments to strangers? I do not. Because I am a jerk. Do I hold doors open? Yes, I do hold doors open for strangers. Not that I tend to be in a lot of places where that's an option. Main place I go. Hey, Melanie. Main place I go is to the grocery store. I'm not really holding open automatic doors, It's not really a thing. I like to try to close the door as quickly as possible behind me to prevent their entry. Yeah, shut it and then grab something to force into to keep it shut. And grab a chair and stick it under the handle. The stars give resistance. Use your strength. Hey, Jenna. Open the door for a woman or men or both. Either. Either one. I'm in. It's just, politeness. Just woke up real quick. I accidentally set a 3 a.m. alarm. Go back to bed, Jenna. Some people don't say thank you. Because some people are awful. But in my experience, most people do say thank you in my experience. We're so close, my thank you will be a rasp and it'll be awkward. Yeah, just whispered creepily in their ear. Yeah, so from what I've experienced, most people say thank you when I've held a door open for them. Anyways, about time for me to be calling it a night. Long beard hair? Yep. Kinko brand it is. Good for him. That's not a dry spell. It's just I'm not interested right now. People who try to start a conversation at the grocery store must be very lonely. Agreed. So, yeah. I will be back tonight for a so I've got a counting appointment at 6:15 until 7, so no. Probably around 8 or 9. Around 8 or 9 I'll be on Eastern time. So I'll see you for Valentine's Day then. So thanks for coming. And good night, everybody.